Hey, welcome vets to Veterans Nations, brought to you by veteransnetwork.net. My name is Mike Dowling, and I'm joined with my co-host Trevor Scott and Mr. Rick Seaman, our Vietnam vet and producer. And over there in the back, we got our sound man, Mr. Rydell Danzy, Army veteran.
All right.
Welcome to the show. So, fellas.
Here we are, proud to be here. And shall we start with a dedication?
As always.
Let's do it.
All right. And also proudly, we will dedicate today's segment to the Navy's 5th Fleet.
There it is.
There it is.
All right. A lot of history there, huh, Mike?
Yeah, good outfit. Really good outfit.
Yeah, they got a lot going on today, too. Yeah, they're in it.
Thank you to 5th Fleet.
Thank you, 5th Fleet is right. Okay, so time to hump, huh, guys?
Yeah, let's talk about jobs.
You like jobs.
We definitely like jobs.
That's right. Yeah, we do. Old vets, young vets. We all need money. Yeah.
Well, we'll be talking to Christopher Kearney, who is the Public Relations Manager for the Military Vet Jobs Organization.
Right.
He'll be on our hotline phone from Parsippany, New Jersey. But first, we've got a little work to do, so here we go. All of our vets out there should check out the website for supportingourservicemen.com. Mr. Monty Cook from that organization tells us that if veterans register with his website, they'll get a discount, an ID discount card, good for freebies and discounts all from local businesses, and it's good all over the U.S.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a great idea. All vets should take advantage of something like that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, freebies and discounts, that's my kind of place.
I hear you. What is what all things does the cards cover?
Well, there's a lot of local businesses that participate in it, but it's discounts and freebies to restaurants, entertainment, legal services, consumer goods, certain medical services, and even some counseling.
Cool. Now, do they have to pay a fee for these cards?
It's free.
No,
It's all free. Yeah,
free,
just
right.
sign up on the website and get a free card.
Nice.
Right, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Here's some more stuff, since we'll be talking about employment here shortly. A recent study by the Center for the New American Security, a Washington think tank, said businesses want to hire new vets because they believe they have leadership qualities, teamwork skills, character, discipline, expertise, and loyalty. We don't argue that.
True.
But they go on to say, envisioning how vets might fit into various company environments is a different matter. Okay? That's what this study says, which included interviews with 87 businessmen, and it represented 69 different companies. And this report states that the most prominent obstacle to hiring veterans is that veterans often have a hard time translating military skills into civilian job qualifications. Well, okay. Okay, well, and these employers also added the following concerns. One, that troops with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, may be damaged or have violent tendencies. Secondly, that National Guard and Reserve troops could be called up for duty, leaving the company shorthanded. Okay. And thirdly, that the majority of post-9/11 vets lack the college degrees or industry-specific expertise for senior positions, yet they don't want the lower-level jobs. Do you buy that?
I want to say that I buy that. No, there's a lot of, there's a lot of issues with that, because the military service, you have all these skills and training, and yeah, you might have a hard time translating that into the civilian world, but we already have years in the workforce. We already know what it's like to be in charge of personnel, to be in charge of a budget, to be in charge, to just be in charge and be self-motivated a lot of the time.
Right. Well, I mean, they listed the attributes
No.
But then they come back on that. They talk about PTSD, violent tendencies.
Well, I think the good attributes outweigh any negative attributes that might be there. And I think that you're saying how they don't want the entry level positions, but I think most young vets returning nowadays know that they kind of have to take a step back and get an entry level position. But with
Yeah, I
you said
agree.
leadership
Well,
skills,
yeah, I mean-
they'll work their way up pretty quick.
I mean, when they talk about vets not wanting these lower positions, I think young vets particularly, are smart and savvy enough to know that they got to be patient.
Of course.
I mean,
Right, and that's the thing about veterans is that you just give them a task, and they'll figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah, they'll prove
regardless because that's what they're trained to do, adapt and overcome. Right.
well, yeah, I mean, it's like, they know how to go nose down like a rhinoceros and just hang in there, and they know that because that's what the hell soldiers do, and that's what they've been doing, right?
drive on.
Going nose down and being patient, right?
Yeah. Right.
Definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
that vets have more perseverance than probably any civilian has, just because of the pure nature of their business.
Definitely.
right. And I mean, of course, unless a vet has these, amazing entrepreneurial skills and savvy for whatever reason, other than that, a vet should not expect to be able to come out and be the CEO of a business in 12 months.
Right.
No,
Right.
I mean-
No. And the other thing about that is it mentioned, that they might not want to hire them because if they're in the reserves, because then they might have to be deployed and they might have to hire someone else or something
yeah.
like that. Well, I mean, if I own a business, I would be proud that I have employees that are serving the country and going overseas, and so I can say I'm a veteran supportive company in that way.
And they're disciplined. They have drive and
Yeah,
ambition.
yeah, and I hear what you're saying, Mike, but you got to put yourself in this corporate frame of mind and put yourself in these corporate shoes, and you know how they think. If I got a reservist and he leaves on me, I'm stuck.
Yeah, because by law they have to give them their job back.
And by law,
Like
they
I said,
should.
I can understand that, but I think we're in a generation now where I wonder how many senior level executives are military veterans themselves. Because I think we're in a transition period now where a lot of Vietnam veterans are retiring,
Right.
and are no longer in those kind of levels. So I'm just curious as to what kind of percentage of executive leadership are actually veterans. And
I would think.
question.
I would think the senior vets and their business owners now would give them a leg up, and maybe that's something that really America and the public has to think about in the case of these reservists, because hey, reservists are bearing a big chunk of the burden in these wars we were fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that stuff was reserves.
yeah,
So if that's the case, then I think we should have some kind of law that says you have to accept the fact that they may be called back. That's it. You have to, and you have to hire them. And that's just the way it's going to be.
yeah. What do you think, right, Dal? Have you had any friends, any experience any of these issues?
Well, first I want to say that it sounds like it's the same argument that they made as far as women entering the workforce at one point in time and them getting pregnant and taking off and saying, oh, we're going to have to rehire them or it's going to leave a hole in the company. I know me personally, when I got out and I made that transition, it was difficult for me because I found the civilian life to be very inefficient. And it was like you were saying, putting your nose to the ground and just making something happen. That wasn't really allowed, or it was seen as a negative because it's geared more towards of a 40-hour work week instead of a project-oriented system. So for me, it was hard on that level, but I was able to go out and get jobs left and right.
Yeah.
And everybody else that I know, they have been able to go out and get jobs. And as far as being like the CEO or not taking that entry level, I think we all realize that we are coming in an entry level. I think that the problem would be is if you already had that job and then you took off and then had to come back and then start all the way over again. I think that would wreak havoc on your own psyche. And then that could go into the other problems that we had talked about earlier.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most unenforced and abused laws that we have in this country. And because those laws about coming out of a military situation and getting your job back and going right back where you were, that started in World War II. And from that day on, it was abused. Nobody obeyed the law. Nobody enforced it. So, and now the excuse today is, oh, well, he was gone for a year. The technology changed so much in a year that we'd have to retrain him. Well, you know what I say?
You gotta retrain somebody.
Yeah,
Retrain him.
Yeah.
It's disconcerting to know that a company would, think that way. I mean, here's a veteran going off to fight
Yeah.
for your capability to do what you're doing, and you want to allow them to come back because their technology's out of date. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't bode well with us, but unfortunately, I think, the lawmakers and the public just needs to get slapped upside the head once and say,
Yeah.
hey, wake up. Come on, get with it, Because, face it, you talk about patience, any serviceman or servicewoman who hung in for 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, multiple deployments, right? You talk about patience?
Yeah.
Is that not patience, right?
It's a ultimate
Yeah.
test of patience.
So, I don't know.
I think businesses just need to wise up. I mean, when you have servicemen and women
Yeah.
in combat, businesses need to make a certain sacrifice too, even if it's just retraining them when they come
Yeah.
back.
They should take the page out of the public service jobs like firemen and police departments.
Yeah.
They're really good about letting their firemen and policemen go overseas to
Right.
go fight and then come back and pick up where
Very
they left
true.
off.
Very true. Right. Because with them, you're not going to get, the technology changed while
Sure.
you're gone.
Yeah.
You still got to reel in the hose and open the fire. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of
Yeah.
modern technology in fighting fires there. Those guys are always doing a better job of it, technologically and everything else.
And I'm sure they have no problem retraining firemen if there are updates in firefighting.
Yeah. I think it's a cop-out. I think it's just a damn cop-out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I agree.
I really do.
To put it bluntly.
I really do. Well, here's something. Since we're going to have, was it Christopher Carney?
Right.
On the phone, and he's with, what's his company? He's with Military Vet Jobs.
Yeah.
We know that organization. I'd like to get his take on this.
Yeah, let's
See how
hear it.
that goes. So, we take a break.
Let's do it. Be right back.
All right.
Throughout the history of this great nation, men and women of courage and valor have sacrificed to provide the security of those they love. George Washington understood the importance of recognizing that courage, and the Purple Heart was born, a symbol of sacrifice and heroism, and a tribute to those who have given their all for freedom. For 50 years, the Military Order of the Purple Heart and the Purple Heart Service Foundation have channeled that same heroism and courage into helping all veterans and their families. With a national service program to assist veterans with VA claims assistance, providing grants for disabled veterans, leading the way in research and treatment initiatives for traumatic brain injuries and post-traumatic stress, along with many other forms of assistance to help our men and women in uniform transition to civilian life. The Purple Heart Service Foundation has been there. Tomorrow's challenges are great. The obstacles are many, the threats real. The men and women who serve today will need our support tomorrow, and we will be there for the next 50 years and beyond. Please join us in helping those who protect our freedom. The next generation of heroes would like to thank you in advance.
All right, we're back. And right now, do we have our hotline good to go?
Say hello to Christopher Kearney with Military Vet Jobs.
All right, Mr. Chris Kearney, this is Mike Dowling with Veterans Nation. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hi, guys. Happy to be here with you.
Okay, good to go. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Military Vet Jobs and what you guys are doing for your fellow vets out there?
Okay. Well, Military Vet Jobs was started about 2 or 3 years ago, and what we do is we help connect veterans with employers who are looking to hire them. At this point, we have gone through training with companies to teach them the value of hiring, veterans that are back from active duty. And one of the things that we're doing right now is a college student veteran campaign where we are reaching out to all of the colleges that have been listed as military-friendly schools and trying to work with their Veterans Affairs departments and their career services do help veterans, that are getting ready to graduate with degrees, find jobs as well.
That's great. That's really great.
Yeah.
Hey, Christopher, Rick Seaman here, co-producer of the show. Question, how does military vet jobs address the issue of PTSD as far as veterans applying for jobs, and if the employer knows that they're being treated for PTSD or have a PTSD disability rating? How do we deal with the employers starting or wondering if they're dealing with damaged goods here, so to speak, or could there be a violent outbreak on the job? How are you guys looking at that?
Well, Rick, one of the problems I see with that is that with PTSD, it's not just a military condition. If you are driving down the street and you get into a car accident, for example, you can have PTSD from that as well. So I really hate that companies try to use that as an excuse to not hire veterans, when really there are so many other reasons that companies should be hiring veterans. Simple things like they work well in high pressure situations, and they're not clock watchers. They do the task at hand. And, they have great experience from the military that a lot of companies just aren't recognizing. And I feel that using PTSD is kind of a cop-out, and they're just trying to give an excuse why they aren't hiring veterans.
Thanks, Chris. And the things you just said are a lot of the things we responded to that report earlier on the show here today. Do you agree that I've heard this from a lot of counselors who work with PTSD, that a veteran is under no obligation whatsoever to tell an employer that he's getting counseling for PTSD? Because if he does, he's just putting a bullseye on his chest. Is that how you look at it too?
I personally would look at it that way. I feel that if you don't need to tell your employers that you're going to therapy because of another reason, why should you have to tell them that you're going to a therapist or seeking help because of PTSD?
Hey, Christopher, Trevor Scott here, one of the hosts. Have you found that employers are hesitant to employ National Guard or Reserve members for fear that they'll deploy and then when they come back they'll be out of date with technology and stuff? And how have employers been dealing with that?
Well, one of the biggest things that we do here at Military Vet Jobs is that we like to train our companies that hiring veterans is a smarter move on their part. Of course, there's always the risk that with active duty members and reservists that they will be called up and will have to go back to active duty. But most of the time, the veterans that they hire from our company and just in general have such better skill sets, whether it be, in the jobs that they're doing, that the company actually makes out better by hiring veterans. I don't think that being like a reservist and being afraid to be called back to active duty is even something that they should worry about, because there are a lot of incentives to hire military veterans.
Chris, thank you. That was some great information. Military Vet Jobs. And what is your web address?
The web address for Military Vet Jobs is www.militaryvetjobs.com.
Well, Chris, this has all been really, really great information. Thanks so much for everything that you're doing, and we really appreciate you having you on the show here on Veterans Nation. So I'm sure we'll be in touch again soon, and take care, all right?
See you, Chris.
No
you,
problem.
Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
That's Chris Kearney from militaryvetjobs.com, and he's doing a lot of great work and fighting the good fight for us. So we're gonna head on out of here in one quick minute, but first, Rick, I think you got something for us.
Thank you for saving that minute for me, Mike. Those of you who have been on Veterans Network over the years on our other shows are familiar with the Veterans History Quiz that we do periodically. So we decided, we all thought we'd like to bring it over here to the Veterans Nation show as well, so we can all have some fun. The way it works is, if you answer the quiz question correctly, you will win a $100 gift card to the service or store of your choice. You have to be the first correct email sent in to be the winner. And the email address is, as always, info@veteransnetwork.org. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a history quiz question from before that was never answered correctly. And it went on for months. So we're going to reboot that question, and here it is. What was the actual first U.S. military activity in Vietnam, then known as Indochina or French Indochina? Okay, the first military operation or activity that took place in that country, regardless of the name, Vietnam, Indochina, French Indochina, within the borders of that country. Not Laos, not Cambodia, not all, just in the geographic boundaries of Vietnam.
All right. First correct answer gets the gift card.
Yes, they do. And
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's not easy. And we've gotten a lot of wrong answers. And I may be giving some hints along the way, but first let's get it
knows
going.
the answer.
Is the question on the site as well?
Yes, we will start putting the questions up now on our headline news page, and you get there by simply going on the main channel guide that you're on right now to the icon headline news. It's got a picture of a kid with a newspaper, and go there, and the Veterans History Quiz will always be one of the first 3 news headlines, so it'll always be there.
Good to go.
All right.
Let's check it out, guys. Dig deep on this one. You got to dig deep.
All right, well, thanks a lot for joining us, vets. Check out that question. Give us all your feedback. And on behalf of everyone here today, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next Veterans Nation.
Welcome home.
Kiai Malu.
I'll proudly stand right next to you and do my part. I'll give my song, I'll give my